What do you want to be when you grow up? We all have undoubtedly been asked this question when we were younger, and our responses were probably similar. Astronaut, doctor, actor, artist. However, if you ask that same question nowadays, the answer may be surprising. At first glance, we see some similar answers. Doctor, actor, artist, but near the top is YouTuber and social media influencer. From the outside, the image of internet fame and fortune has captivated the youth, and unfortunately, that fame blinds many from their own morality in the pursuit of it. And even though the thought of having internet fame and fortune may seem enticing, the story tonight will show that when an internet empire is coupled with a mental breakdown, it all comes crumbling down like a house of cards. Now, before we get too far, I need to explain some backstory. And I promise this will all make sense in the end.
He notices a player trying to pull his attention away, and he goes into the no-scope at middle. Smoke is up, he spots it out, Bimas goes down, and suddenly it's just one more victim needed. Simple gets it done, the human highlight continues, and a 4 rounds picked up for Na'Vi.
Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO for short. A first-person shooter released in 2012 by the developer Valve. This game may look crude by today's standards, but it has reigned supreme over the years as being a premier competitive game. With tight controls and impeccable game design, many players have made impressive careers and played on the big stage at esports events over the years. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to break down CSGO in detail. However, there is a unique component to the game that I need to explain. In CSGO, there are a plethora of unlockable skins for your gear in-game. These can be unlocked by playing matches as with any other game, but many of them are bought via real-world currency. And as with any game, there exists a range of unique and rare cosmetics. This creates a virtual economy of sorts, with skins ranging in value. This also inevitably spawned a virtual auction house and gambling market for people trying to peddle these cosmetics. And many of these virtual items are worth more than you or I could even imagine.
The best blue gem in the game on the best type of condition possible. Completely one of a kind. In fact, there's only going to be one of these unboxed for every 824 million cases opened. So we're pretty lucky to even have one. Now, this skin was sold for $150,000 in 2016, which was the biggest transaction in CSGO history for 5 years.
Now, one of these virtual item sellers was a man named Trevor Heitman, also known as McSkillet.
Hey, what's going on, guys? McSkillet here with another CSGO video, and today we've got a pretty special one because this is actually pretty much what every McSkillet inventory update has led to. I've actually completely finished my CSGO inventory now, and I'm going to be showcasing everything in the loadout style, so I think you guys will really like this video. And also for this video, I'm going to give away 3 M9 Dopplers if you would like, comment, and subscribe as always. But yeah, let's get into the video.
And to the well-adjusted adult, this may seem just like a silly game and a lot of wasted time. But times have changed, and real-world careers can be built in these virtual spaces. Careers that mirror the success of more traditional pursuits. And many people have tried their hand at making a profit off of these marketplaces. But you see, the thing about McSkillet is that he was really good at peddling these virtual skins.
This is actually my car. Now, it's not actually like my new car because I've had it for a few months now. But so yeah, if I put new car in the video, the new part is the part you're clickbaited on, not the part itself, like where the YouTubers just like go and film some car they're like looking at, or like make some like sort of meme video, which it was funny when PewDiePie did it, but I feel like at this point, I mean, people just want to see like the actual cars and stuff that YouTubers actually have. But this is the McLaren 650S, of course, and I'm just doing the audio recording over the footage, as you can probably tell, because I don't really know how to be like a YouTube vlogger. I don't really have like a live audio setup. But yeah, this car has 641 horsepower.
With his revenue in the millions and a rising follower count, the virtual sales business was treating him well. But there's one detail I haven't mentioned that's crucial to his business. A majority of these rare skins are earned through a sort of black market gambling site that's linked to CSGO. And there's a wide legal gray area associated with gambling when it relates to video games. And wanting nothing to do with it, Valve ordered these gambling sites to be shut down, and all traceable skins from the sites to be banned indefinitely. Which means that many people's virtual empires fell to the ground overnight, including McSkillet's. Although this can be seen as a downfall in McSkillet's business, he clearly has the knowledge to build a following, and when faced with a setback, the best thing anyone can do is bounce back, cut their losses, and move on. Unfortunately, that wasn't the mentality that Trevor Heitman was able to attain. Beginning August 18th, 2018, Heitman was not himself. He spent almost all of his time alone, and after a day of being out, he told his mother that he had driven his McLaren at 150 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. She told him that he can't do that, in which he simply responded, "I can do it." When his father learned of his reckless behavior, he asked him, "What do you think will happen when the police catch you?" His response, "Neither the police or their bullets can hurt me." His mental state deteriorated over the next 2 days, and on August 23rd, 2018, Trevor was in a downward spiral that no one could have anticipated.
Hello, 911.
I'm calling to report an emergency. I believe there's an individual who is a danger to himself and a danger to others. I do believe that he is suffering from a mental illness and that he should be detained on a 5150.
He's got manic behavior.
He's never been diagnosed in
He needs to go into a doctor.
Before you start, ma'am, there's a criteria. He has to be gravely disabled. He has to have a credible threat against somebody. He has to have, or harmful to his own self. There's only certain criteria that we can take him under. Who bought the car for him?
He bought it.
He bought it?
He bought a McLaren?
Millions of dollars, yeah.
At 18 years old?
He's a very intelligent kid. He made $4 million in 10 months.
Okay.
Oh.
So
He's got to teach me his ways.
not right now.
Are you his psychiatrist?
I am not.
I'm not willing to go ahead and I won't go to prison to get him into a hospital.
Trevor spent the day sobbing to himself and completely in shambles. He slept for about 4 hours, and when he woke up, he stormed out of the house and got into his McLaren. He then popped it in reverse and repeatedly rammed into his father's car, which was parked behind him, and sped out of the driveway and down the street. As he left, his mother was immediately on the phone with 911. While deputies were at his residence, he was several miles away, driving erratically through a school zone, and had a run-in with concerned citizens.
You know you're driving in a school zone, right? What did he just say? Did he say that off to you?
Something's wrong with him.
He's coming back! He's coming back! Hi! You have a crazy on your campus right now, driving in a sports car, chasing after the kids!
He sped off, driving irrationally, and at this point, deputies were on the lookout. Not of right mind, Heitman sped through the busy streets of California and came upon the on-ramp to the 805 North. and took a turn in the wrong direction. He sped over 100 miles an hour, barreling down the freeway into oncoming traffic. And before anyone could stop him or talk sense into him, he came to a stop, colliding headfirst into an SUV.
Information tonight about this fiery crash that killed 3 people and shut down the 805 for hours. The wrong-way driver has been identified as YouTube and E-game star Trevor Heitman.
When Heitman's McLaren collided into the SUV, both cars immediately burst into flames, and the wreckage was scattered across the freeway. Inside the SUV was a mother and daughter, Eileen and Ariana Pizarro, and along with Trevor, all 3 died instantly. After the tragic collision, an investigation began. There were no drugs or alcohol found in Trevor's system, and it was revealed that Heitman's parents had actually attempted to get him committed to a state mental hospital before the events on August 23rd. A 5150 order, which carries similarities to the Baker Act in Florida, states that an individual can be detained if they prove to be a danger to themselves or others. The issue with Heitman, though, is that he had no previous diagnosis of mental illness and no history of drug use, which in turn makes the process of detaining someone with a 5150 much more difficult. But there may be an indication that Trevor's mental decline was more predictable than some may realize.
Manic mood swing can be so powerful that people lose contact with reality.
Psychiatrist Clark Smith says although Heitman had no history of depression or mental illness, he believes Heitman may have been bipolar with manic tendencies.
The mood swing can change like that, from being king of the world, on top of everything, to crashing.
Earlier this year, his business was suddenly banned and shut down. Dr. Smith believes that may have been the start of his downward spiral.
Most people who are suicidal just take their own life, but some people are also homicidal. I think he had lethal intention. He didn't know who he was going to kill, but he knew he was going to kill someone.
Now, I'm not qualified to offer any opinions on the possibility of Trevor having an undiagnosed mental illness. However, I will say that it is very rare that a sudden downward spiral of this magnitude comes out of the blue. Is it possible that Heitman suffered from some form of bipolar disorder that went unchecked until his breaking point? Maybe. But as they say, hindsight is 20/20. But the people who should be the focus of this story are the innocent lives caught in Heitman's vortex. Eileen and Ariana Pizarro, taken too soon and too suddenly. Ariana was to begin 7th grade, only 4 days after the fatal crash, and wanted to be a jazz singer. And her mother, Eileen, was a marriage and family counselor who was working to become a licensed therapist. Her son told reporters that she had a passion for working to help children who were taken from abusive homes. And possibly, in another reality where this had never occurred, she would have been someone willing to help people who were struggling. People who are just like Trevor Heitman. Trevor's unfortunate choices on August 23rd should serve as a reminder of the importance of mental health, regardless of our successes. His final chapter is a morbid testament to the fact that success, wealth, and fame cannot stand the weight of a complete mental deterioration. Take care of yourselves out there. Good night.